Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And, of course, some of you are listening to it on KSLO, 1230 a.m. on your dial, and the sister company, 105.3 out of Simsport. And you've been doing that for working on 36 years. Can you imagine that? And many of you, of course, are watching it on your cable services throughout Acadiana and the internet worldwide. Yes, so when we mention something maybe about you or about something that you know your children are interested, or a friend of yours during the Second World War, you met in Germany or someplace, France, you want to let them know about it, they can pick it up on our archive and watch it in their home around the world.
At kdcg.com.
And, you know, we don't push that enough, because that, a lot of people, you know, they know of interesting things that their children might be in college in New York State, California, or might be up in Canada someplace studying for the summer months with their French. To better, you know, understand the French culture and everything, where it started and how it started. And they can keep up with what's going on in Acadiana with the Bobby Dupre Show. And my sidekick, Andrew.
Well, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you. Let's cut all the promotion out. No, if we don't promote the show, who's
going to do it? That's right.
Who's going to do it? We have to promote it.
There
and,
you go.
We try to do a good job. We try to keep it interesting. I have to tell you, I went to see Janice Duplantis yesterday afternoon.
Our manager for OPAC
Crowley, one of the first managers we've had, and does a bang-up job. She's only concerned right now, she's not concerned about her medical condition, is how quick can I get back to the office, and she just does a bang-up, great job. Janice, it was so good to see you feeling so good. We visited at least an hour yesterday, and it just, time went by because we reminisced about some of the
And she knows a lot of people that you know. And
yeah, that's right, she does.
The circles cross over each other.
We talked about things, but on the way up on the, got directions. I parked at the opposite end of where I should have parked, but everyone was very helpful on each floor level that I had to get to finally cross over and get into the hospital section where she was. And she's on the 9th floor, by the way. And one of the ladies was saying something about she didn't like to take that shot. And I said, well, you know, just to break the ice like I do, we were riding in an elevator. And I said, well, I'll give shots. And I said, people tell me that it doesn't hurt at all. So she just smiled, and the elevator opened, and she was walking out the door. She turned around, she says, I know you. I watch you every week on television. And I didn't get her picture or her name, but that was the way you handled that. You got me. I couldn't answer. I couldn't even ask for a picture. She says, I know you. I watch you every week on TV. So anyhow, I did say, you just made my day, because it makes us feel good when people are watching that we don't. So, and we should point this out to our sponsors. They get a lot of coverage.
And there's no hiding. If you're on the Bobby Dupre Show, you can't hide in public no more. There's no, you go in a crowd. I went to the Festival International. They got 10,000 people standing by that stage. I had to shake hands. I missed all the songs, I think.
Talking about festivals, they've got the big blowout in Tiger Stadium this weekend. That's country music.
Country Fest type thing, I think is what they call it.
Right.
Cajun Fest.
Cajun Fest. And Megan was all excited. My nephew and niece, Reggie and Marie, are going, and they've invited her to go. And she said, Daddy, they even have rooms for us.
There you go.
Hotel room for us. So, Reggie, Marie, thanks a lot. Hope you all have a blast over there.
Let me sneak a sponsor in here. Benny's Supermarket. All your grocery needs here in downtown Opelousas. Benny's can help you out. I was there yesterday picking up a little salad, what they call their Super Chef salad, with a little meat and all the dressing ready to go, some boiled eggs in that salad as well. You know, watch my weight. That's how I stay slim and trim.
Sounds good.
I picked that up while I was there, and I saw our friend Greg Doucette was getting himself a lunch there at the same time, but I think he was getting something heavier than a salad. They got rice and gravy, 7 days a week, good home-style cooked meals. They got great produce section, great meats, already seasoned, ready to go with their nice butcher department there. 80-plus imported beers from all around the world. They've got the Miss Mary's Gift Shop, and Little Ben mayonnaise, nutritional supplements, and Sports Shack. Those of you that are working out, walking, I see everybody walking this weekend. I saw Leslie Schiff was walking, get some exercise going. I saw Gordon Ryder was out there walking. Good morning, everybody.
Gordon retired with Montbell, but I think he took a full-time job on at Queen of Angels
doing maintenance
Church.
around Queen of Angels,
and he's perfect for that job because he's still very good physical condition.
And you know, he's a blacksmith. Did you know that?
I heard you talk about it.
He's not a farrier, you know, a guy that puts on horse's shoes, but he's a blacksmith. He can make things.
Fix those old wheels on those wagons out there in the country. Do you see that? If you have problems, he would be a good person to talk to. I'm glad you bring that up.
And he's an artist. He can do things, and he can shape things.
Well, good. How about
I like that?
We rode motorcycles together and had a blast.
That's a good guy to have with you.
And his wife was some good motorcycle rider herself.
One more sponsor, Carl's Thrifty Way, all your medicinal needs right here on Highway 182.
Brenda, I was thinking of the name.
Southport of
Good
get your prescriptions filled, get multiple prescriptions compounded to make them easier to take. They've got gifts, home decorating ideas, even go to your house to help with some of your home decorating, and they do all sorts of nice custom wreaths for certain times of the year. Maybe you want to get a Memorial Day wreath made. Maybe you want to get a 4th of July wreath made for the summertime. Go by Carl's Thrifty Way. Go ahead now.
I wanted to make mention, and hopefully by the time that the show starts at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, we're taping. We're very early taping today, by the way.
We woke up early.
I write it down that we start at 9:30, but that's when we officially start putting the program together, the ends together. We have all the material. We just got to kind of line it up the way we'd like to get to it, and it doesn't always follow that. But that's the good thing about whatever we're talking about. If it brings up something else, we just cut it out. We're not like those big stations that have to follow all those
follow the
rules
script.
And no script. We don't have a teleprompter here. I want y'all to know. Well, I shouldn't say that because some of them will say, "Well, we can tell that about it." But it's tough on them reading on the teleprompter. You can, if you're paying attention, you can see.
It's much easier the way we do it.
The way we do it. Say like Cat Do said, we talk out the top of our head.
Sure.
And that's basically what we do. And where was I? Where was I going on that one?
I don't know. I got lost.
Too. We have a lot of good things to talk about. And one of the things was a death that took place over in Ville Platte. And I'm speaking of Cecil LaBar, age 82. And that's been real close to my family. When I was married to Adelaide, of course, she was raised with the LaBar children, Miss Myrtle and Mr. Harvey's siblings. And in the obituary, it lists Adelaide as a sister. He and the family list Adelaide as a sister. And so I went over there and visited with the friends and all, and it makes me feel good. I'm still Uncle Bobby, and got to see the family, spoke to the wife, Janet. They had a good closure. He was very, very, alive and still the fun he always was. A big LSU Tiger fan. In fact, I wore that shirt. You know the LSU, the different
kind of plaid looking.
Yeah. I wore that shirt, and it was a hit because everyone in the family says you wore the right shirt. He had his necktie in the coffin was a LSU, and then he had his LSU pin on, and he had season tickets for over 50 years.
Show this photo, Mark, while we're talking about, this is over the funeral home. This is the hearse, and if you look real good, you see the LSU flags on the front and the LSU Tiger tail coming out the trunk in the back. So, I mean, he was a Tiger fan to the end.
To the end. And I enjoyed the visit, and they had a good closure. And then that brings me up to the subject I wanted to talk to about the little
of course,
girl.
People here in Annapolis are probably friends with his son, T. Claude.
Well, yeah, and then also his brother, Bernard LaBar, our state representative.
Correct.
Now, Cecil, years ago, was the mayor of, and his daddy was the mayor of Ville Platte at one time, and had two uncles that were mayors of Ville Platte.
Really?
So the family has
very politically oriented.
Yeah, and not. You never looked at Cecil and them as political. You know what I mean? It's just their way of
Community service.
Community service and who they are. And they've done real well. They, the grandpa, his father, their father started Evangeline Drugstore, and also Evangeline Drug Company, but that was a different. That was Mr. Harvey.
And a lot of the boys became pharmacists and a lot of work in that business.
They have a pharmacy in Ville Platte and in Pine Prairie and Opelousas, Rock over here in Opelousas, across from Swallows Dinner Club right there. So anyhow, it was nice. What I started to talk about was the young lady that is missing in Lafayette.
Correct.
And of course, that goes back to what I was saying. Maybe by the time you all see it tomorrow morning for the first viewing at 7 a.m., hopefully she can be located and in good health. And it's an outpouring of the community that not many times have I ever seen so many people around the clock working. She left out, she was a avid bicycle rider. I mean, wherever she went with a bicycle. And she left her friend's house going back to her parents' home around 2 a.m. Not a good time, we can say this and that. But I'm going to talk to the youngsters around Acadiana. You all go out and you come around at 2 o'clock would be the same time they're closing up the places of business where you frequent. Possibly some of you all might just have seen somebody riding, and if you, no matter how little bit, if you can tell them at that point, well, they know.
I did see a blonde-haired, her name Mickey Shunick.
Shunick.
A blonde-haired lady on a dark bike, dark greenish, dark bluish bike.
And if you just saw her from a distance, but in that certain block, if you kind of remember,
just that would help.
Then they know that she made it from point A to that point right there. Right. Then they can spread from there, put the efforts there on. So any little bit of information, please don't hesitate.
Call Lafayette Police Department. I know
there's a big reward for information and all that, but just do it out of your heart. This is something, and you know, let's work as a community. It's a good time.
Our middle boy Ian is, I know, very good friends with, and he's one of those guys. You know, the whole group that hang out together, they're all busy trying to help. So
good.
KSLO, we'll see you on the other side of 3.
We have 15 minutes gone already. Whoa, Lord, we didn't even get started yet. You better get a couple of your
this?
sponsors.
Well, I got to get them after I come back from the radio.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
We got babysitter classes at Opelousas General Hospital. It's two-day classes that they're going to offer. If you're between 11 and 13 years old and you're going to do babysitting, it's a good thing to put on the resume to show that you're responsible and you're learning. You can call the education department at OGH 594-3801. And it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday on June 5th and 6th, and Wednesday and Thursday, June 13th and 14th, up on the 3rd floor auditorium from 8 a.m. to 3:30, just like a class day.
Something interesting, I think it was in last week's Morning Advocate, shows here that Louisiana's federal offshore rigs topped the pre-ban level.
Finally back.
Yep, the first time rig activity has surpassed 40 since a few weeks before federal regulators declared a months-long ban on deepwater drilling. That was after the terrible accident that took place out in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010.
We ought to have an election every year. It seems like when the elections come around, the price of gas goes down.
Yeah, the price of gas is continually going down. I saw a place in Opelousas, well, our friends, the Gillians, out of Church Point and Crowley, ShopRite and Tobacco Plus had $3.33. That was yesterday. Might be less than that today.
If the president ran every 6 months, things would be a lot cleaner.
Hey, Daddy always commented, we're going to have a good year this year.
It's election year.
The election year. They're going to put
everybody gets right.
But anyhow, it says here that Scott Angel said the 41 rig count is up 1 from the previous week and up 18 from the 23 active rig that were operating in the same area last year. Wow. So that's very good. And Lafayette and Acadiana is feeling it all over. And it's felt around the world, and of course we're feeling it in our pocketbook. We're getting more fuel for